Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Sincerely Cassandra XOXO, where we discuss all things beauty and femininity, wellness, and self-image. So I'm back after quite a bit of a hiatus. It wasn't intended, but I just kind of got busy with life, and life gets in the way sometimes. So I decided that I did want to come back. I wanted to really think about what kind of a channel I wanted, what I wanted it to look like, and where I should be focusing my priorities on for content. And I had a lot of things that I wanted to talk about that have sort of just been building up in my mind that I've been sort of turning over. And the first one I want to talk about is why I actually think women should cater to the male gaze to a level, to a point. This is kind of a hot take, especially because a lot of people disagree, and it's not seen as really the right thing to do right now. We shouldn't be living our lives for men. No, we should not be living our lives for men. That's not what I'm saying at all. Definitely don't go through life making every single decision thinking if it's something a man likes or not. Like, don't go to college and pick a major wondering if a man will like it, or don't redecorate your bedroom wondering if a man will like it. Like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm speaking purely about how we present ourselves in the world. And when I say male gaze, I don't mean hypersexual. I don't mean like Playboy bunny, Hooters girl, anything like that. I am just thinking about the ways we choose to present ourselves. And I have an example. So I had a friend in college who was very classy. She ended up working in fashion. And eventually we ended up living apart after college. And she was working, and she had moved to an area that was like, okay, it wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was definitely more like a, I don't know, lower income area. And she was working in fashion, so she dressed very elegantly, even though she was very, very simple in what she wore. And there was one day that she was walking home, and a man stopped her, and she sort of thought it was going to be like a catcalling type of thing. But all he said was, "Ugh, I wish women in this neighborhood dressed like you." That was it. And like a typical outfit for her, I'll put it on screen, is like dark wash denim, maybe heeled boots, and some sort of like solid turtleneck, and maybe like little pearl earrings. She didn't do a whole lot of makeup. She had a basic neutral, like over the shoulder bag, and just very simple, classic, but feminine. Sometimes she'd wear like a little floral top, but it was never anything outrageous. It was just very classy. And she wasn't one to be revealing. Like, she didn't have a lot of cleavage out or anything like that. She didn't really do mini skirts, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think that just sort of highlights my point, is that these men would probably be really excited when the woman in that neighborhood, when I would see her, pretty much just wore like jeans that were like too low rise, and like ill-fitting shirts, and maybe like some spandex things, like just not things that are flattering on almost anybody, if we're being honest. Yeah, I think about her a lot. And she's gone on to date diplomats and CEOs and really, really high achieving men. And she's always gotten really good treatment from them, even when we were in college. And she always had her own too. Like, she was not someone who put all her faith in a man. Like, she was not afraid to sort of just leave them and be done. She always worked, but she also expected to be treated very well. And those were just her standards. So I think she's a really good example of how just being feminine and leaning into that can really yield wonderful things for you. She didn't wake up every day thinking, oh, I should cater to the male gaze. But in a way, she kind of was, because she wasn't wearing these outrageous, trendy things. Like, I know a lot of people have talked about this recently. Dial C for Cerise, her channel I just discovered. She talked about a video about people not being taken seriously because of how they look and all the crazy things that they do. I know Ziva, whose channel I love. I've been a long time viewer of Ziva. She actually had a video called, I think it was a few years ago now. It was called "It's Cute to You, but Do Men Like It?" If you're trying to go out into the world to attract a man who is, decent to you, or even if maybe you have a man, but maybe you just want to be treated better, even professionally, or even just when you're out and about, maybe you need better customer service, like if you need to go get your car fixed or something, or at the bank, or other really important things, sort of leaning into that will give you better results. And also, when I say the male gaze, I think a lot of sitcoms and TV shows from when we were growing up, and I'm assuming everyone grew up in like the 90s, early 2000s, around the time I did. I'm in my 30s, But a lot of the sitcoms at that time, they were always nitpicking like every little tiny flaw with a woman. Like I remember there was one episode where like Jerry wouldn't date a woman because she had manly hands, or like in reality people don't care about, but like I think that stuff gets like brainwashed into us, right? So we think, oh my God, if my hands are manly, like someone's gonna break up with me. People don't really care as long as your hands look clean and tidy. Like they don't even have to have like nails done. They just have to be groomed, like not crazy hangnails or bleeding or cracked or dry or like dirty, no dirt under the fingernails. If you just have them buffed and even and not all chipped and peeling off, then it's probably fine. A little nail polish is just that much better. So I think that sometimes we have this idea that men really want us to be picture perfect, but I actually think women are the ones who put that pressure on each other. I don't think men, like, when you look at makeup, as long as the makeup is not over badly done or overly obvious, Blunt Curly talked about that too, men like it. And they're not going to be picking apart if your big toe is like a little shorter than your middle toe or something like that. Like maybe unless they like really prioritize feet. Like men are typically not going to be the ones to do that, in my opinion. They're not going to care that like, I don't know, you think your elbow is weird or something like that. So sometimes I think we get a little hung up and we're like our own worst enemy. Carmelita also did a video called like Perfectionism is Your Kryptonite. I think that's it for a lot of women. And we just feel like, oh my God, I'm not perfect. I'm not the weight I want to be. I don't have the length of hair that I want. I don't have the clearest skin yet, whatever it might be. And then it stops us from even trying, feeling like, oh, well, when I get there, I'll try then. I guess this video is a lot of me shouting out channels I like. I was going to do a different video of the channels I like. You know what men think is really sexy? And I found this out on Reddit. And this is something I feel like a lot of women don't think about: sundresses. They love women in sundresses. And if you just think back to like all those classic like 90s, early 2000s movies where like the guy is going after the dream girl, she doesn't look like she's done to the nines. She doesn't have tons and tons of makeup on, at least it's visible, right? It's very subtle. It's very natural. She isn't like Botoxed out to the max. And she's not wearing like designer labels or anything. Like they don't care about that. Women are the ones who really care about that. You know, usually it's like a sundress or something simple or bohemian. It's really nothing that deep, and everyone can find something that will flatter them. Like for example, I always look good in like maxi dresses. Maxi dresses are the most flattering on me. So if I'm going to wear a maxi dress, I know that I'm going to feel confident, and that usually is a pretty feminine style. It usually gives something of the silhouette away, but not all of the silhouette away. It's really just about putting your best foot forward, realizing like not being naive enough to think that we don't live in a man's world, right? We do live in a man's world, and we can either get really upset about it and cry about it and stomp about it and shave our hair and dye it pink, you know, sit at home alone, or we can adapt. And I honestly think we would all be better off adapting. I really do. I know that maybe isn't the most PC thing to say, but the more I have leaned into looking, I don't even want to say traditional woman because I don't look like a trad wife, but the more I have leaned into emphasizing my own beauty and wearing clothing that's flattering to me and knowing how to do makeup in a way that suits me but is not caked on, and learning how to take care of my nails and just really basic things like that women in past generations just automatically did. The more I've done that, the better my life has been. The more I have gotten from just life in general. I mean, there are a lot of benefits to this. There's one restaurant I would go to with my boyfriend, and we actually met there. And like, I have never paid for a drink there, like when I was single or when I met him. Like, I have never paid for a drink. Either he's paid for it, or if I've been there with friends or before, it was always on the house. It could all be so simple. I guess that's what I'm saying, is it could all be so simple. And maybe we're making it overly complicated, and we just need to really think about the basics. Like if you have a nice figure where you work out and you know how to do makeup in a way that flatters you and is not following the latest TikTok trend or going too crazy with like fake eyelashes, and you can style your hair decently and you know you smell okay, you're gonna be just fine. And you know, if you add in some good makeup, some good jewelry, and some perfume, really, I think the sky is the limit. And it would be amazing if we just sort of got over ourselves. This seems so wrong to say, but it'd be great if we could just get over ourselves and lean into the fact that if we all just cater a little bit to how men want women to be in their minds, we would have a lot more success in our life. And that's just the reality. So you can either join in or you can stay mad about it. Yeah, that's my first video back. I'm going to be back with some more, with some other tips. And I hope you liked it. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? If you totally disagree, I can take it. That's fine. Tell me why. If you agree, tell me why. Tell me about your experience. I'd love to know. Thank you so much. Bye.